Welcome everyone to our presentation on leading and managing people, focusing on how managers and leaders support employees. My name is Reena, and today we are working to develop an understanding of how employees are motivated. We'll dive into leadership and management approaches which are supporting employees in different work environments, and then we'll analyze with the real world examples. Now, this unit aims to help you to develop knowledge and understanding of the concepts, principles, and skills that are needed to lead and manage people in your workplace. In this LO, we will focus on developing an understanding on how the managers and the leaders, they play a crucial role in supporting the employees by using different leadership and management approaches. Their focus is on developing the employee's strength, either through personalized coaching, training, or through creating growth opportunities, thereby helping the individuals reach their full potential. Again, we'll also see that for a remote work setup, as well as in a team working environment, the leaders and managers, they provide clear communication, they set the clear expectations, and then they also ensure access to necessary resources. Overall, what they're trying to do is that they are going to create a supportive environment for collaboration and maintaining the team cohesion. And support for employees will also include regular feedback as well as recognition of achievements, which ultimately enhances their motivation and job satisfaction. We will also take a look at how the ineffective leadership and management leads to lower employee morale, decreased productivity, and higher churn or the turnover of the employees. And all these factors are ultimately going to harm the organizational performance. Now, let's take a look at the unit specification. For LO3, we have two past tasks, one merit task and one distinction task. That means 3.1, 3.2, 3M1 and 3D1. Now, here we are going to cover different ways in which the managers and leaders can support employees, different leadership and management approaches, how a leader and a manager support employees who are working remotely or who are working in a team environment setup, and what is the impact of ineffective leadership and management on employees as well as organization. You can take a look at this video here. This will help you to familiarize yourself with the concept of leadership and management, and especially when you are trying to support your employees. So before we go ahead with this LO, let us quickly do a recap of what we have learned in LO2. If you remember, in LO2, we learned that employees are led and managed through a blend of leadership and management theories and styles. We saw leadership theories such as transformational, transactional leadership, where the entire emphasis was on inspiring and motivating employees towards a shared vision. And the transactional leadership, the focus was more on the performance based. That means the rewards and penalties based of leadership. We also saw the management theories like scientific management and administrative management theories, where the entire emphasis was on the structural process and the structural efficiency. We saw there were different kind of leadership styles like democratic, autocratic, servant. Different kind of leadership styles were influencing how decisions are being made and how team members are being engaged. And then we also saw the key performance indicators that an employer is using to measure the employee performance. And the idea behind using the KPIs was to align their efforts with the organizational goals. We also learned that the managing employee conflicts, basically, when we are trying to manage an employee conflict, we were trying to identifying the underlying issues, assessing its impact, and then encouraging for an open communication, trying to find a mutually acceptable solution, developing an action plan, continuous monitoring of that action plan, and then providing feedback and support. So overall, this comprehensive approach was ensuring that employees are guided and supported to achieve not only their own individual goals, but also the overall organizational success. Now, if we take a look at the current LO, that is LO3, It is all about understanding how the leaders and managers are supporting the employees. Leaders and managers, they play pivotal role. We cannot bold and highlight their role in supporting the employees, because they are the ones who are offering the clear directions, who are providing the professional development support, and they are the ones who are providing the feedback to the employees. Now, for example, leaders, they come up with a vision and a clear set of goals that is going to align the organization's mission with the employees, how the employee is going to contribute in achieving that role. So they are the ones who are going to give a greater vision and then try to fit in the employee role, or how their role is going to contribute to the bigger picture. Now, for an example, CEO might outline a strategic plan for entering a new market, and the CEO will ensure that every team member understand their specific contribution, whereas a manager will be focused on day-to-day support by setting clear expectations and providing the feedback wherever any action is required. So they conduct performance reviews, they recognize individual achievements, the leaders will do these things, and a manager will also acknowledge any innovative solution that you are bringing to the table during a team meeting. Both of them, whether it's a leader or a manager, they are heavily invested in professional development. They provide opportunities for training and career growth. Now, for example, let's see, maybe a leader, he may sponsor a company sponsored, your participation in an industry conference, whereas a manager will focus itself on mentoring the team member to develop their leadership skill. Together, these efforts, they not only provide direction and support, but overall, they are responsible for creating a culture of growth and recognition. Right. Okay. So now let's try to, delve deeper into this discussion with certain examples. Now, let's look at the ways in which the leaders and the managers are supporting their employees. Number one is by providing them with clear goals and directions. Leaders are the one who have the strategic vision and the long-term goals for the organization, and it's their job to provide the organization with a clear sense of direction. In this process, what they are doing is that they are helping their employees understand how their individual role is in alignment with the broader organizational objective. Now, let's see with an example. Maybe, the CEO of any retail organization, they may have a vision to expand into new markets. What they are going to do is that they are going to share this vision, break it down into specific milestone, maybe opening a new store, increasing market share, and then they are going to make their employee understand how their daily work contributes to the overall organization's growth. Whereas a manager in this case will translate the broader vision of the leader into the a smaller steps or actionable tasks and different objectives for the different team members. So their job is to ensure that the employees, they have smart goals. They know the goals clearly, the goals are achievable, and then they understand what is their priority in the overall task hierarchy. For example, if there's a project manager in a software development company, the job of that manager is to assign specific tasks with clear deadlines and clear expectations. And to achieve this, they are going to hold regular meetings to track the progress. And wherever there is any shortfall, they are going to adjust the goals, ensuring that everyone knows what they need to accomplish. Another way is professional development. Leaders, they promote a culture or they encourage a culture of learning and growth by always encouraging their team members to pursue professional development opportunities. So they kind of set the tone for the organization that this is an organization where professional development is encouraged and where professional development is valued within the organization. For example, there's a technology company. They may establish a program wherein the employees, they are paid on behalf of the company. They are encouraged to go to the industry conferences and workshops, learn and bring that knowledge transfer back into the organization. Whereas a manager will support the employee professional development by identifying and providing them the opportunities for some kind of a skill enhancement, whether it is in terms of providing resources, whether it is in terms of providing training or mentorship. So ultimately what they're trying to do is that they are trying to help the employees or support the employees in advancement of their careers. Now, for example, a manager, they may conduct career development discussion with team members. And usually it is done as a part of the performance review where the manager sit down with the employee and they help them in identifying their areas of growth. And they may recommend some specific training programs or courses, providing them with on-the-job learning opportunities. In this way, they are trying to support the employee in aligning their career goals with the vision of the leader. Another way is feedback. Sometimes learners, the leaders, they are provided with the high-level feedback on how the organization or the team, how their contribution is helping the organization progress towards the strategic goal. By offering them insight, how their individual contribution is overall impacting the organizational mission. Usually it is done by a leader when they are delivering any monthly or quarterly town hall meetings, where they review the KPIs, they acknowledge the teams who have made any kind of a significant contribution. In this way, the leader is trying to use a broader platform to provide a general feedback to the team and setting the stage for future goals. Now, managers here, how they are providing feedback is by giving more day-to-day feedback on employee performance, how to improve their work quality, how to achieve the goals, how to address any conflicts or issues. So, for example, usually the manager holds regular one-on-one meeting with employees to review their performance or discuss any challenges that they may have come across, or in general, just to provide some kind of a feedback. For example, if I am struggling in some specific task, I may reach out to my manager, who maybe by the virtue of his or her experience might be able to offer me some tips and resources to help me overcome the particular task. Again, recognition is another way in which the leaders recognize and celebrate major achievements which any employee is able to achieve at an organizational level. Ultimately, it helps the building the employee morale. And for example, a leader might recognize a department's success in achieving a significant milestone. For example, a very simple example is they may have set a sales target for a certain number of certain million pounds. And if the sales team has been able to exceed the sales target, so this recognition is celebrated in a company-wide meetings or maybe through some internal communications or internal newsletter highlighting that particular department's contribution to the company's success. Whereas a manager, they provide immediate and personal recognition for all the hard work that their employees put in. So basically what they are doing is that they are personalizing and they are identifying the individual effort, they're acknowledging it and appreciating it. Manager, for example, a manager might give an employee of the month award or some kind of a personalized thank you note. So this kind of a direct acknowledgement, when it is being done by a manager, obviously it helps the employees' motivation, and then it kind of creates a positive momentum, a momentum of positive behavior among the entire team. So you can see that the leader, they are focused more on the broader vision and the organizational culture, developing an organizational culture where the individual, the overall team achievement is valued and celebrated, while a manager, he handles a day-to-day guidance and support. But together, what they are trying to do is that they are creating an environment where the employees are motivated, they are supported, they are informed, and they are appreciated. What it is going to achieve ultimately is it is going to help individual success as well as the organizational success. Now, AC, if you see AC 3.1, so AC 3.1 requires you to explain leadership approaches and the management approaches to developing the employee strength. Now, developing employee strength is essential, whether it is from the perspective of a leadership approach or a management approach. We are going to break it down into two parts. Let's firstly look at the leadership approaches to developing, how you're going to develop the employee strength. When we're talking about the leadership approach, the first way is the visionary leadership, through the vision, through inspiration. Now, leaders, what they do is that they inspire the employee by creating a compelling vision for the future, and then they are trying to align the strengths of the employee with the organizational vision. So in this process, they help the employees in seeing their own unique abilities and how those unique abilities are contributing to the broader goal of the organization. Now, for example, let's see if there's a leader in a creative agency, they may highlight the importance of innovation. So if there's an employee who has some kind of a creative talent, they may be involved in a strategic project, and the leader will help the employee understand how their creative strength, it is critical for the achievement of the company goals. Sometimes the leaders encourage self-discovery. When I say self-discovery, it means the leader is encouraging the employee to explore and discover their own strength by providing them with different experiences, different opportunities, and self-reflection. Now, for example, a leader might promote a strength-based workshop where employees may take assessments like Clifton Strength, and then they may discuss the results. Ultimately, the idea behind this is that the employee should be able to identify their natural talent, where their strength lies, and how they can leverage upon those strengths for achievement of the organizational goals. Next is fostering a supportive culture. Sometimes the leaders create a culture which supports, which nurtures the employee strength by celebrating diversity of skills. And this can only be possible if there is a supportive culture, if collaboration and cohesion is encouraged in the organization. So sometimes if you see there are certain organizations which establish a culture of mentorship, where employees who have some specific strength, maybe a technical skill, or they have a leadership quality, then they're buddied up, or they are paired up with the people, those who are seeking to develop these kind of abilities. So this supports the individual growth, but at the same time, it is creating a collaborative environment. And also leaders, they empower employees, because once the leader is delegating any responsibility, that is in alignment with their strength, and at the same time giving them the autonomy to make the decision. Ultimately, it is empowering the leadership. It is empowering the employees. So they, for example, a leader might assign a team member with a very, project management, who has a strong project management skill, to lead a major initiative, thereby they leveraging their strength and ultimately growing their leadership abilities. This trust or this empowerment of the employee will significantly boost the confidence and the performance of the employee. If we take a look at the management approaches towards this, we will see that when we're talking about the management approaches for employing the employee strength, for developing the employee strength, managers, because they are working closely with the employees, they are the ones who are able to create personalized development plan, because they recognize the specific strength area and the growth area. So they are able to create personalized development plan. A manager might have a one-on-one meeting with an employee to discuss their career goals and strength. Usually you will see that based on these discussions, a PDP is developed, a personal development plan is developed with targeted training and project assignment is designed on the basis where it leverages upon the existing strength of the employee. Another management approach is that the managers, they provide opportunities to the team to apply their strength in the daily task. And this application of their strength helps in refining their skill, expanding upon these skills. For example, if some employee is very good in data analysis, the manager might assign them to a project which requires advanced analytics. So it allows them to apply their Excel skills as well as, apply their data analysis skills and enhance their analytical skills while contributing more to the organizational goal. The managers also provide feedback how the employees are using their strength and how they can develop these abilities. Again, managers recognize and celebrate employees' strengths and achievements. This recognition and encouragement reinforces their confidence and motivation to focus more and continue to develop these skills. Now, this development of employee strength, often it involves a combination of leadership and management approaches. This is something an employee strength cannot be developed in an isolation. It has to be a combination of the leadership and management approach, because leaders are the one who are setting the vision and they're creating a supportive culture, where the managers, they are the ones who are providing the practical support and the feedback that is necessary for the employees to firstly understand their strength, then leverage upon it for achievement of the organizational vision, and then enhancing the strength further for newer projects. For example, a leader may inspire employees to innovate and explore new ideas, whereas a manager may facilitate this process by giving them some specific project. Together, if you see, these approaches they are designed to maximize the potential of the employee. Now, if you take a 3.2, okay, AC 3.2 is requiring you to explain here the how the leaders and how the managers, they support the employees when the employee is working in a remote setup, and when the employee is working in a team setting. So let's firstly, we will take a look at how to support an employee who's a leadership approach towards supporting an employee who's working remotely. Because this concept, the remote working, is grounded in communication, trust, flexibility, and inclusivity. So the leaders should encourage open communication in case of a remote working setup by establishing regular one-on-one and team meetings to ensure and to make sure that the communication channels are always open. What is the benefit of keeping the communication channel open is that it will help in addressing any concern, and the employee also feel connected at all times. The leaders are approachable and available to the employees, maybe through a video call, through chats, through emails, and the clear communication also include the clear expectations. So the goals, the deadlines, the expectations, all this should be clearly communicated to the employee. Again, in a remote setup, you have to trust your employees to manage their task independently. The leader should not try to micromanage, and rather they should focus more on the outcome rather than the process. You have to ensure, as a leader, you have to ensure that you have provided your remote employee with all the necessary tools, technologies, and any other resources that they need to perform their duties. At the same time, you have to make sure that the employees take ownership of their work. So there is a sense of accountability and a sense of responsibility. Again, flexibility is a very basis for which remote work became so popular. So you have to recognize that remote work may involve different time zones or different personal responsibilities. You have to allow the employees to have flexible working hours as long as they meet their objectives. And you have to ensure that the employees are taking regular breaks. There is a boundary between their work life and personal life, and it should not lead to burnout. You have to provide support for the mental well-being and mental health of the employee. You have to invest in development and growth opportunities for remote employees in their career advancement, as well as you have to create a culture which promote inclusivity, which promotes engagement, maybe through organizing virtual team building events, or creating a culture where all employees are included regardless of their location. You have to regularly acknowledge and appreciate the contribution of remote employees. They should not be made to feel that, you are a remote employee and you are not valued. Any kind of public recognition can boost their morale and make them feel valued. And of course, there should be use of effective project management software tools, communication tools. These tools will obviously help them to enhance their productivity and connectivity. Now, if we take a look at how you are going to, the management approach towards the employees, towards supporting employees who are working remotely. Now, this is going to address both the practical and the emotional needs of the workforce. Of course, clear communication channels here is equally important. You have to be, you have to schedule your consistent one-on-one and team meetings. You have to leverage your tools like Microsoft Teams or Zoom. And then you have to ensure that all the essential information is documented and it is accessible in a shared drive or on tools like Google Workspace or Microsoft 365. Then you have to provide as a manager, you have to provide your employee with necessary hardware, laptops, monitors, softwares, provide them with the IT support for any kind of a troubleshooting that may, that may come, and so there's a minimum downtime. And then as a manager, you have to allow flexible work hours, acknowledging different time zones and personal responsibilities. You have to promote regular breaks to prevent any kind of a burnout. Then you also have, as a manager, it is very important that you respect the personal boundaries of the employee, that is the boundaries between the work hours, and you should avoid contacting them outside of those work hours. For a manager, it is very important that the focus is not on the hours. You have to shift the focus from the number of hours that an employee has worked to the results that are being produced. So if you're focused on results and not hours, then obviously the employee is in a much better place. And then you have to create a team collaboration and a virtual team building activities to maintain a sense of community. You have to provide them with online courses and workshops as a part of their regular training and development. And then you have to make sure that there is regular social interaction. See, in remote working, the biggest challenge a remote employee faces is isolation and loneliness. So you have to encourage informal virtual gatherings or chats to reduce any kind of a feeling of isolation. There may be more, in-person meetings also, if possible, whenever you can create that kind of an in-person meetings situation. So now, if you take a look at what is the leadership approach when an employee is in a team setting. Now, in a team setting, obviously, we go back to the same one, that is communication. You have to clearly define the goals, roles, responsibilities, and you have to encourage open communication where the team members feel comfortable sharing their ideas and their concerns. Again, you have to trust your team members with decision-making power, and you have to allow them, time and allow them to find their own solutions. You have to show empathy and be available to the employee and promote a healthy work-life balance. So you have to be very mindful of any sign of burnout and take proactive steps. Again, a leader has to encourage collaboration. It's the job of a leader to encourage collaboration and create an environment where team members can freely share their strengths and ideas. You have to recognize, you have to celebrate team achievements so that there's a sense of unity, there is a morale, and overall the productivity might be better. Again, you have the leader have to provide regular constructive feedback, and you have to create a mechanism where the employees can give feedback on leadership and team dynamic. And most importantly, the resource allocation. Now, if you see, as a leader, it's your job to ensure that the team has access to the necessary tools, technology, and resources. You have to create a workplace that is conducive for working, that is conducive for productivity. And at the same time, you have to keep on adapting your leadership style to meet the needs of the team and the individual members. So you should be open to innovation, you should be open to experimentation, and you should be open to any new ideas. Now, if you see a management approach, when you are talking about a management approach for employees who are working in a team setting, we go back to the same one: open communication, regular team meetings, one-on-one check-ins with the employees. Open door policy is practiced globally. It is practiced a lot, where the employees are encouraged to voice their concerns and ideas freely, thereby giving an opportunity or giving a image that the management is approachable. And then you have to define the team goals clearly, and you have to make sure that everyone understands their own individual roles and responsibilities. You have to ensure that the individual performance is aligning with the team objective. Ultimately, there is a collaboration. And for collaboration, you can use tools, different tools like Microsoft Teams or any project management software teams. You have to create an environment of trust where the team members are feeling safe to express their ideas. We should organize workshops on activities that strengthen the team dynamics and the communication skills. If there is any kind of a conflict, you have to equip your team members with conflict resolution skills so that they are able to handle disagreements in a constructive manner. And if, of course, we have seen previously also that if need be felt, the manager has to act as a mediator to resolve the conflicts, because of that conflict is hindering the team performance. And then you have to encourage autonomy, you have to encourage empowerment, you have to encourage innovation, you have to encourage diversity and inclusion. If you are implementing all these different strategies, then you will see the management and the leaders are able to create a supportive environment wherein the team collaboration is enhanced, the productivity is enhanced, and overall employee satisfaction is enhanced. In both remote working and the team environment, effective leadership and management plays a crucial role, because when leadership and management both come together, then only we can create an environment which is supportive and which is productive. Leaders must prioritize clear communication, empowerment, trust building, and providing necessary resources to ensure that the employees are connected, they are empowered, and regardless of their physical location, whether it's a remote working or team working. If there's a flexible and inclusive approach, the managers can help the team thrive. If they adopt a flexible and inclusive approach, managers can actually help a team thrive. They will be more encouraging of collaboration and innovation, and these factors will help the team get in a sense of community and purpose. Ultimately, the success of any team, whether it is remote or in person, it depends on the leadership style that values and actively supports its employees. So now let's take a look at 3M1. Now 3M1 requires you to analyze how either a manager or a leader support employees in any named organization. Here in the presentation, we have taken the example of Mr. Ramanjit Singh at UK Versity Online. I'm going to discuss about another popular leader, Mr. Satya Nadella, whose leadership at Microsoft is another good example to analyze how he as a leader or he as a manager has supported employees. In this way, you will have two different examples to refer to. Now, Satya Nadella, when he became the CEO of Microsoft in 2014, the company at that point of time was at a crossroad. It was facing stiff competition from Google, from Apple, and it was in a need for cultural transformation. Nadella recognized that to drive innovation and growth, he had to reshape Microsoft's culture. The very thread, the very gene of Microsoft needs to be more collaborative, more customer focused, and adaptable. So he encouraged a growth mindset. He introduced this concept of growth mindset at Microsoft, which was a term popularized by a psychologist called Carol Dweck. And the idea was to shift the company culture from one that was valuing know-it-all to the one that was celebrating learn-it-all. And this shift was very crucial in supporting the employees, both when they were at an individual level and at a team level. Now, if you see Satya Nadella's leadership at Microsoft was a transformative leadership approach. And let's see how it has significantly supported employees in creating a culture of innovation, collaboration, and growth. So I was telling you, when Nadella became CEO in 2014, he introduced the concept of a growth mindset, thereby encouraging employees to embrace learning and adaptability. This shift was from a fixed mindset where the people were fearing failure to a growth mindset where the challenges were viewed as opportunities to learn. And what he was doing with this growth mindset was he was empowering the employees to take risk. Taking risk was okay. Failing was okay. In the process, he was able to encourage innovation. And he championed the idea, Mr. Nadella championed the idea that everyone at Microsoft should be learn it all rather than know it all. So this led to increased employee engagement and creativity. What he also did was he dismantled the internal silos that previously was kind of a blocking the collaboration between teams. He encouraged an open, a cooperative environment where there was a better communication across different teams. Microsoft Teams was a platform that was developed under Mr. Nadella's leadership, and that became a cornerstone for collaboration within the company and among the customers. And this tool exemplified how leadership can support teams by providing them with necessary resources for effective collaboration, and especially when there is a hybrid work environment or a remote work environment. Mr. Nadella is also known for his empathetic leadership style, which is in supporting the employees. He emphasizes on the importance of understanding and addressing the diverse needs and challenges of the Microsoft's diverse workforce. So he is creating or he is helping to build an inclusive and supportive work environment. Within his leadership, Microsoft made great strides in promoting diversity and inclusion. Again, during COVID, the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, Mr. Nadella's leadership was instrumental in transitioning Microsoft to a remote work model. He was focused on flexibility and employee well-being was ensured that the teams were connected at all times. Nobody was feeling isolated or, even when they were remote working, everybody was productive. So recognizing the benefit of remote work, he supported a long-term hybrid work model where it was giving employees the flexibility to choose how and where they work best. Mr. Nadella has created a culture of innovation at Microsoft because he was empowering employees to explore, be open to new ideas and technologies. And this led to the development of cutting-edge products and ultimately motivating employees to take ownership of their work. He's decentralized the decision-making and giving more autonomy to the team. So in this way, he was able to create a trust in the employees, and that trust in the employees, that autonomy boosted the morale and created a more dynamic, more responsive organization. Now, if we take a look how Mr. Satya Nadella's leadership at Microsoft can be seen from a management approach for the organizational success. So, as I was telling you, he brought the growth mindset. He thought that if the company culture can be shifted from the fixed mindset where the employees were risk averse and they were more kind of comfortable in maintaining the status quo, to from there, that fixed mindset to a growth mindset, Mr. Nadella empowered the employees to innovate and take calculated risk. He placed a strong emphasis on empathy, understanding that empathy is crucial for innovation and collaboration. Nobody was a failure. Everything was celebrated. He encouraged the leaders to listen more, engage with their teams on a personal level. And this focus on empathy, obviously, it promoted diversity and inclusion. So all the employees, they felt valued, they felt respected. Then he also encouraged collaboration as a manager. He moved away from the culture of internal competition to a culture of collaboration across teams and departments. He encouraged the creation of cross-functional teams. That is why, if you see, they have come out with some integrated solutions like Microsoft 365, which combines Microsoft Office, Microsoft MS Office, Windows, and other services in a seamless package. And of course, during COVID-19, he was the one who encouraged flexible work environment. There were policies that were put in place allowing the employees to work remotely or choose flexible hours. He gave that, trust. He put in the trust in the employees. He gave the autonomy, allowing the employees to manage their work in the way that best suit their personal lives while maintaining the productivity. Mr. Nadella ensured that Microsoft developed and adopted the best tools to support the remote work, both for its employees and its customer. Now, tools like Microsoft Teams became central to the company's strategy. And Mr. Nadella leads by example. He's known for his approachable and humble leadership style. He engages directly with employees at all the levels. He recognizes the importance of mental and physical well-being. He has been a biggest advocate for a work-life balance, and that supports the health of Microsoft's employees. Mr. Nadella created a culture of continuous learning at Microsoft by giving the employees the tools, resources, and freedom to innovate. Mr. Nadella has empowered them to take ownership of their own work. Now, if you take a look at Mr. Satya Nadella's approach to management at Microsoft, you will see it serves as a powerful example of how a focus on supporting employees can lead to individual success as well as an organizational success. And by fostering a culture of empathy and continuous learning, Mr. Nadella not only transformed Microsoft's internal dynamics, but also today the position of the company in the global tech landscape is at the leader. So this demonstrates the profound impact that supportive leadership can have on a company's long-term growth and innovation. You can read through these slides. It discusses about Mr. Ramanjeet Singh's role as a manager and as a leader and how it has supported the organization UK Versity Online. Now let's take a look at AC 3D1, which requires you to analyze the potential impact of ineffective leadership and ineffective management on both employees and the organization. So when we take a look at the ineffective leadership and its negative impact on employees, it ranges from low morale, low productivity, high turnover, and toxic work environment. Ineffective leadership fails to inspire or motivate employees. This leads to disengagement and low morale, lack of enthusiasm and commitment to work. For example, if you take a look at, Yahoo under Marissa Mayer. Now, Marissa Mayer's tenure as CEO of Yahoo was marked by several controversial management decisions, including she abruptly ended the remote working and a ranking system that led to layoffs. This decision was criticized for undermining the employee morale and creating a culture of fear and mistrust. Ultimately, it was the factor that led to the contribution of Yahoo's decline. Again, poor leadership can also lead to high employee turnover because workers are seeking better opportunities elsewhere. When employee feels undervalued or overworked or unsupported, they are most likely to leave, which will result in a loss of talent and increase cost for the organization also, because then they have to rehire and train the replacement. For an example, Uber under Travis Kalanick, Uber's former CEO, Travis Kalanick, was facing criticism for fostering a toxic work culture, which was characterized by aggressive behavior and lack of accountability. It was a high pressure environment, which was combined with allegation of harassment and discrimination. So this led to significant employee turnover, and it damaged the company's reputation substantially. Ineffective leadership also creates confusion, lack of direction, and poor decision making. All these factors lead to decreased productivity. Employees, they struggle to prioritize tasks, or they may become disengaged. For example, if you see Sears under Eddie Lampard, it was marked by a lack of coherent strategy and poor management choices, poor management decisions. Sometimes ineffective leadership can also lead to toxic work environment, where the negativity, fear, and distrust prevail. There is that stress, burnout, mental health issues, all this harms the organization's overall performance. Now, Wells Fargo and the sales scandal is one of the examples where the leadership at Wells Fargo were criticized for creating an environment where employees felt pressured to meet unrealistic sales target, and they were forced to create millions of unauthorized accounts. This toxic culture of fear and intense pressure, it did not only damage the employees' well-being, but it also led to a massive public scandal, regulatory fines, and obviously a long-term reputational damage to the company reputation. Now, sometimes there's a resistance to change and innovation also. When leaders are ineffective in managing change or fostering innovation, the employees may become distant or disengaged. For example, Kodak and the digital revolution, completely Kodak failed to manage the transition from film to digital photography, despite they were aware of the shift in the industry. So let's take a look at what happens in case of what is the impact of ineffective leadership and management on the organization. Again, in case of there is a dip in employee morale and engagement. We have seen the example of Yahoo under Marisa Mayer, and she made this decision of abruptly ending the remote working and flexible working arrangements of the employee. This was coupled with inconsistent communication and unclear strategic direction. Ultimately, it led to the decreased employee morale, high turnover rate, and overall there was a negativity in the work culture. Now, if you see the another example of how ineffective leadership and management impacts productivity and efficiency, the example we can see is the example of Boeing and the 737 MAX crisis. Now, Boeing's leadership, they faced criticism for the way they handled the 737 MAX development and safety issues. There were reports of poor decision making, inadequate safety protocols, and on top of it, there were pressure to meet deadlines. And the result was 2 tragic crashes and a significant halt in production. Now, this crisis led to substantial financial loss and also damaged Boeing's reputation. Again, there is an impact on the financial performance. Blockbuster leadership failed to adapt to the changing landscape of digital media consumption and streaming services. And this failure to embrace the new technologies and newer business model eventually led to their bankruptcy. We have seen the impact on reputation and brand image of the organization with an example of Wells Fargo above. Again, the impact on innovation in case of Kodak, in case of BlackBerry, where there were technological advancements, and they failed to adapt to these technological advancements, leading to a fall in their leadership position, and the competitors were able to capture the market. So we have seen that, the ineffective leadership and management can have negative impact on both employees and the organization. When leaders fail to communicate clearly, or address conflicts constructively, it leads to disengaged employees and diminished morals. Poor leadership can also foster a toxic work environment, increased absenteeism, stunted innovation, and overall a weak organizational culture. Ineffective management, basically what it does is that it undermines the organization's ability to achieve its goal and maintain a competitive edge. This highlights the importance of strong and supportive leadership, which is important for long-term success and employee satisfaction. So now this brings us to the end of LO3. That's all we have for this one. And now I will see you in the next video where we will be discussing LO4 regarding developing an understanding of how employees are motivated. I hope you have been able to follow through with the discussion. Just to summarize, leadership and management is important in developing employee strength across different work environments, whether remote or a team working. Leaders who focus on developing their team members' strength, they are the ones who are able to create an environment where employees are empowered, they are valued, and employees are motivated, which in turn drives both personal growth and organizational growth. A management approach that supports employee development through clear goals, providing them with resources and feedback, it further enhances their strength, contributing to overall success. For a remote work, we have seen that supportive leadership ensures flexibility, communication, while management provides the tools and the technology and structure to maintain productivity and connection. In a team setting, a leader fosters collaboration and positive culture, and a manager provides effective communication and resource allocation. Again, we have seen ineffective leadership can erode an employee morale, diminish the productivity, and ultimately what it is going to do is that it is going to harm the ability of the organization to achieve its goal. So overall, we can say that, strong leadership, strong management, they are the foundation to maximizing the employee potential and to maximizing the sustaining or maximization of the organizational performance. This brings us to the conclusion of this session. If you have any queries for this LO, you can always reach out to us at learnerwork@ukversity.co.uk. Thank you for your time. I hope you had a great day.